So those of you who are watching this and have done mBIT multiple brain integration technique coach cert, you know the gentleman who is here with me from the Netherlands. So those of you who are watching that are mBIT coaches, we are going to speak about the other two brains in the masters, and then also for the first time on African soil, the mBIT train the trainer. I'm going to leave it up to Wilbert just to chat about his experience in Africa and South Africa and the path from coach cert to masters, coach cert to train the trainer. I know you don't have to do masters to do train the trainer, but Wilbert will tell us all about this. Wilbert, we're very excited to have you back. There's already a buzz going on, so I'm going to hand over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Kim. And indeed, I'm going back to African soil, and I can't wait to step out of the plane and feel the energy enter my body. Yeah, so the master coach and the trainers training, the mBIT master coach and the trainers training. And, for the listeners who are not an mBIT coach yet, that's sort of what you need to have. So you've got the basic training, which is a 4-day coach cert, mBIT coach cert, which you can do in Africa with Kim. As I am coming in April and May, and I think the master coach and the trainers training is in May. You still got 4 months to get your mBIT coach certificate in. And it's a beautiful basic training where we teach you how to align head, heart, and gut. And to get hands-on for those who don't know about mBIT and mBraining. mBraining is a process that you do, that I do, that Kim does, that all the watchers do. It's how we use our multiple brains, head, heart, and gut, to communicate with it and to listen to it and to use the information, the wisdom that stems from it to align that, to make the most obvious, clear, and profound choice in how we live our lives. So that's mBraining. You can observe it, you can see it, and we can teach you how you can observe it. And then we have got mBIT, and mBIT stands for Multiple Brain Integration Techniques, which is a bunch of techniques how to do mBraining for self and for others. It's a magical training. So if you haven't done it, have a look at it because it will be worth it. So once you have your basic training, your mBIT coach cert, then you have two options. And you can either do both of them or one of them. So you've got the coach cert, the 4-day coach cert. Then you can choose to go directly onto the trainer's training. You don't have to have done master coach. So you can go directly on the trainer's trainings, which is a 6-day training. And I will tell you all about it in a minute. Or you can go to the master coach, which is also a 6-day training. Or you can do both. You can do coach cert, master coach, and then trainer's training. A lot of people do that if you want to become a trainer, but it's not a necessity. So having said that, let's have a look at the master coach. So in the coach cert, we spent all the 4 days on 3 intelligences: the heart, the head, and the gut. And by the way, it's not mBraining that says they are brains. It's the science, the neuroscience that says they are 3 brains. So that's what we do in the basic training. Now, we know, and Grant knew, when he started in 2012, that there were more intelligences. And over the 4 years, in 2015, Grant created a 3-day master coach training, which eventually became a 5-day, and just 2 years ago, it became a 6-day. And what do we do there? Well, magic is what we're going to do there. Because what we're going to do is...
Yes, it is magic.
What we're going to do there is we're going to spend about half a day on what is mastery and how that sits in the body. And we're going to spend 3.5 days on the autonomic nervous system. If you've done the coach search, in the coach search, we say that the autonomic nervous system is the one who drives the bus. So it's the oil between the multiple intelligences. So in that master coach training, where we spend 3.5 days on the autonomic nervous system, I'm going to flabbergast you. And I'm going to flabbergast you with the working of the autonomic nervous system. How the autonomic nervous system has an impact on how we do ourselves and how we can regulate that. We will be doing exercises you may not think of. You might think they're quite simple, but yet the impact is profound. When I became a master trainer back in 2015 of mBraining, and I hadn't done the master coach yet, Ron said to me, "Well, if you've done the master coach, your life will not be the same." And I went, what kind of
So did I,
marketing
by the way. I thought,
what
whatever.
what kind of marketing drill is that?"
Yeah.
And indeed, he was completely right. So the amount of embodied knowing that you will get about the autonomic nervous system and how that drives you, how you look at the work you do, how you look at the people you work with, whether you're a parent or a coach or a trainer, or it's just profound. You won't
And
look at the work.
yourself, right, Wilbert? Also,
Okay.
I went through this and it's everything you say, but also the impact it had on myself.
Yeah.
And subjective and objective perspectives was literally profound.
Yeah, because you might know as a listener that all our stocked emotions, trauma, all the energy that we haven't released, it just sits on the autonomic nervous system. And the autonomic nervous system is just like a brain. You may not call it a brain because of neuroscience, but it's an adaptive intelligence. It does exactly the things that your head, heart, and gut does. So it's a learning mechanism. It has neuroplasticity, it has neurogenesis. And so it has learned through conditioning your patterns. So if it has learned through conditioning your patterns, it can also unlearn. And we've got all kinds of techniques, strategies, how that training can help you unlearn patterns. And once you've done that, you can use that with your clients. Now we
Yeah.
talk about autonomic stability. We talk about autonomic space, all kinds of ways to get your head around how are your clients doing themselves from the inside, not from a behavioral perspective, but from the inside, because it's just a learning strategy that through conditioning has set into the autonomic nervous system. And I can keep go on and go on and go on, but you really truly deeply learn what attachment does in the autonomic nervous system and how you can relearn attachment, because we're just neurobiological feedback mechanisms, as a master coach.
Wilbert, I'm thinking back now to the courses that you've presented. I observed how this was happening real time with those attending. It's not theory, of course it's theory, but I actually observed real time how the shifts and the non-attachments would happen
Yeah.
quantumly, pretty much, right? It's not like,
And Kim, I've just finished a book that I've been writing for 5 years, which is called the vagus nerve regulation. It's just astounding what is possible if we truly work with the autonomic nervous system. And once again, we're going to have laughs. It's fun. It's
and
beautiful.
cries, by the way. So
And price, yeah, for sure,
we'll
price.
cry.
So that's 3.5 days of autonomic nervous system, and then the last 1.5 days is around the pelvic intelligence. It's where our life force, our sexual force, and eventually our spiritual force sit. So we're going to take you in 1.5 days through knowing about the pelvic brain, knowing about the psoas, giving you all kinds of exercises to rekindle your pelvic brain and make that tune in with all the other intelligences. So that's this whole alignment of your five chakras, of your five intelligence systems. We're going to do some dancing. We're going to do some, cheering. We're going to do some singing. And all in service of learning
Yeah.
your pelvic and your autonomic nervous system. It's a
And
wonderful
for those,
5-day training.
yes, it is, Wilbert. And for those of you who think, oh, which I did, dancing and singing, I'm asking you to understand that it is vitally important to
Mm.
be able to release and use your body and embody. Especially those who are watching who think, oh, I'm not sure this is for me because there's a lot of body work and physical work. It may be the most important thing you do for yourself. It was for me.
Not just for you, Kim. I often, if I can say that to finish off, in my coaching, by the way, when I started mBraining, I had 10 coaching sessions. when I went into mBrain, my coaching sessions went from 10 to 5. When I did Master Coach, it went from 5 to 3. I still charge 5 sessions. And one of the reasons why that is because, if this is I don't know how you call it, a trechter, you
Oh,
can work,
like a funnel almost.
yeah,
A
like a funnel.
tractor,
You
yeah.
can, I used to work at the top of the funnel. Now that I know Master Coach stuff, I work about what is in the way of getting your client get their outcome. So
Oh,
it's way deeper. It's very human, so to
that's
speak.
a powerful illustration, and metaphor to understand, because that is how it is. You don't
Mm.
start on almost a superficial level and take a long time to work through.
And for all those people that might get scared, what Kim said about dancing and booming and chanting, you don't have to do that when you're at home. You're just in a safe surrounding, and it will free you up for
Yeah.
sure. So be welcome in the Master Coach. It's a beautiful journey.
I'm very excited, Wilbert, and I do know a lot of our mBIT Coach Cert people. Can't wait. So those who've done mBIT Coach Cert, and once again, if you haven't, and if you're in the wellness industry, and if you're in the training and coaching and leadership industry,
Correct.
therapy, consider it. And for those who would like to do the Master Coach as well as train the trainer, or go from Coach Cert to train the trainer, can you tell us a bit more about the trainer's training?
Yeah, the trainer's training. It's a 6-day training. And if you haven't experienced the coach cert, you have no knowledge about it. But for those of you who have done the coach cert, and I've done about 100 coach certs over the last 12 years, taking about, I don't know, 600 people through the coach cert. And the beautiful thing about the coach cert, it is set up in such a way that at the end of the 4 day, we always get the same result. Now and I'm an experienced trainer. That's pretty amazing. And I know why. That's the reason why that 4 day training is set up. So in this trainer's training, if you decide to go to the trainer's training, it's a 6-day training. What we'll do there is I'll teach you the 6 layers beneath the training. So if you're a participant in the coach cert, you might get 1 or 2 layers at a conscious level, and all the other 4 layers, they're all unconscious. You haven't got a clue as a participant that is happening, but it is happening. That's
Mhm.
unconscious learning. So what I'll teach you in those 6 days is the 6 layers underneath the trainer's training. And I'll teach you how to facilitate this 4 day training for your own market, for your own business, for your own people. Once again, it is a magical training because when you get it, how you can train mBraining, it's not just a technique. Of course, we've got some techniques in it, but it's not just a technique. It's a way of being. It's a way
So,
of being with your group. It's a way of being with yourself that allows you to get such a huge outcome at the end of 4 days, every time, again and again, when you follow those steps. And that's what I'm going to teach you.
and
Be
we're
welcome.
so excited to have you here for a very long time. So,
Mm.
Wilbert, thank you. We have open registrations and we are going to give all the detail that any of you may need. Look at the buttons down below, press them, register, inquire. Wilbert, I don't know anything from your side in closing. And thank you once again so much. Very excited to have you.
No, once again, Kim, I just can't wait to come over to African soil to meet you again, to meet all the people that are joining us in this training. It's going to be a beautiful ride, and I'm looking forward to that. 1.5 months in South Africa. Whoa.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? So, yeah, bring it on. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much, Wilbert.